Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Rabbana la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So this evening we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us to come out, and we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that some of us make greater effort than some. Nevertheless, according to our efforts, we will be rewarded, inshallah. So nothing is being wasted. It's all going to the credit of our book, inshallah, and our deeds. So we continue in here in relation to the Qadar, the schools of thoughts of Qadar, the schools of thoughts on Qadar, and we have we talk about the views of those who deny Qadar, those who do not strive, relying on Qadar itself. And we are in the views, we're talking in relation to the Ahl Sunnah, their views in relation to Qadar. And we talk about, right now, we have three of them. The first one was Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, and the second one is Aqidah to Imam Abu Bakr Muhammad al-Hussein al-Arjuri, concerning Qadar. And all these names are from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So we're going to continue, inshallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created his creation as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created his creation as and when he willed, and he made them doom and bless before he brought them into this world, before he brought them forth into this world, whilst they are still in their mother's wombs. Their lifespan, provision, and deeds are written. Then he brings them forth into this world, and every person strives in accordance with what he has written and decreed for him. So as we go further and further, it is going to be advanced, a little more advanced in understanding it. We had the basic foundation, and that helped me through to understand and so forth. And as we go to like this statement here, we would have already understood what was read before, so this will be easy to understand, inshallah. Right? So every person strives in accordance with what has been written and decreed for him. Right? Allah written and he decreed our action and our works and so forth, and we strive now in relation to what in Allah's knowledge that he knows, right, that he decreed and written for us in relation to our choice and our willingness and so forth. Then he sent his messengers and sent down his revelation to them. He sent messengers, prophets from time to time, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down his revelation to the prophet to teach to the people, to guide the people, and commanded them to convey it to his creation. He tell the messengers and so forth to convey this message to the creation. So they conveyed the message of their Lord and advised their people. Those who were decreed by Allah to believe, believed. Whoever Allah decreed to believe, they believed. And those who were decreed by Allah to disbelieve, disbelieve. Allah the Almighty, the All-High, says, Huwa alladhi khalaqakum faminkum kafirun wa minkum mu'min wallahu bima ta'maluna basir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, it is who created you. Then some of you are disbelievers and some of you are believers, and Allah is all seer, of what you do. Quran 64:2. So do we understand these sentences as we read? Those who were decreed by Allah to believe, believed. And those who were decreed by Allah to disbelieve, disbelieved. If this sentence come to you and it was asked, could you explain further in relation to what you just heard here? Can you be able to explain it? Those who were decreed by Allah to believe, believed. And those who were decreed by Allah to disbelieve, disbelieved. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed for a person to believe, and He decreed for another person not to believe. So who He decreed to believe, believed. And who He decreed not to believe, didn't believe. Now, what is the understanding of that? It simply means that with the knowledge of Allah, the prior knowledge that we always trying to understand, the prior knowledge which some people and group deny, right? This prior knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing the individual and so forth, and they will not believe, He decreed that group of people not to believe. Not that He command them not to believe, and not that He want them not to believe, right? The choice is not to believe, so He paved a way for that. He facilitated that they wouldn't believe, because He knows that they wouldn't believe in any case, right? And whoever He decreed it, and whoever He decreed not to believe, they wouldn't believe. And whoever He decreed to believe in relation to His knowledge, well, they believed. And we cannot have no hesitant about understanding that, because we know for sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most just, and He has the knowledge, He had the capability, right, and He has the prior knowledge and so forth, and He's not unjust. So no way at all it will make it impossible for us that we cannot understand this. So it had to build, it is building on one pillar to the next to fully understand now the call of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and this is what they believe in, right? Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we, the Sunni Muslims who adhere strictly to Quran and Sunnah, this is what we believe in, right? So this is not strange for us. But if you go somewhere and you hear this without this foundation, then shaitan is going to come there, ideas is going to come there, and you're going to question and so forth, and debate is going to take place, and there is where it becomes very dangerous, because you're going to go astray with this debate. He loves whomever, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He loves whomsoever He wills of His slaves, and open His heart to faith and Islam, right? And He hates others and seal their hearts, hearing and sight. So they can't hear, they can't understand, they cannot see. Summun bukmun umyun fahum la yaqilun. He make them dumb, deaf and blind to that reality. Allah is the one who has the power to do that. And if you ask yourself now why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does that, as He said in Quran too, we cannot question Him, but we will be questioned by Him why we do these things. But we cannot question Him why He does certain things. And we cannot have no doubt in our hearts that Allah is unjust. We must know that He is the Creator, He is the King, right? He's Allah, and He's most just. So we have no hesitant at all or taraddud that if Allah is just or not just, right? So, and He's saying here, and He hates others and seal their hearts, hearing and sight, so they will never be guided, right? Why He does that? Because of His prior knowledge of the individual. He sends astray whomever He wills, and he guides whomever he wills. Now this again too. If we didn't have this foundation backup understanding before, we will go astray. We wouldn't understand this, right? So they will never be guided. He sends astray whomever he wills and guides whomever he wills. Okay. Let me say we didn't have the foundation understanding before, and we go somewhere and somebody read this verse, right? He sends astray whomever he wills and guides whomever he wills. How are you going to understand that? He sends astray whomever he wills. But then now it's coming back again now, right? Will Allah be could or will Allah, or is Allah an unjust creator, or God? Because why he's saying that he sends astray whomever he wills is in relation to his prior knowledge of the individual and what they're going to do, right? So he facilitated, so he created it, right? He decreed it, but he didn't command you to do it. Wrong things, he doesn't like that. That is why he tells you to strive. You see, strive. You don't know what it is that you're going to do, right? But he knows. You don't know what it is he written and what he destined, but he knows. All is for us to do is to know that Allah is just. He's the creator. We have no doubt in that, right? And we don't know the unseen. We don't know the future, but it's for us in this time and stage to strive to do the good thing. Strive to obey the commands of Allah. Strive to do the good things, and so forth and so forth. That is all for us to do, right?
But
we go do the questions after. Keep it in, it might take too long. Right. So he cannot be questioned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, La yus'alu amma yaf'alu wa hum yus'alun. He cannot be questioned as to what he does, while they will be questioned. That is us. We cannot question Allah to what he does. We only have to believe that he is righteous, right? And he would never do something unjust, right? Then if we believe, if we go in that way to think, then we will go astray again too. Because he will be the king judgment day. He will be the one to judge, and if we think, or we allow shaitan to whisper that if he's justice or not, right, then we will go astray and will be unbelievers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says here clearly, La yus'alu amma yafalu wa hum yus'alun. He cannot be questioned as to what he does, because we would never understand it. We could never understand it, the wisdom and the hikmah and so forth, and the secrets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We wouldn't be able to understand it. We cannot use logics. We cannot fight up our brain to understand it logically. But why we had to believe it, as mentioned before at the very beginning, because he said so in Quran. And Quran is Kalamullah, is the words of Allah. La rayba fi, Zalikal kitabu la rayba fi. This book, there is no doubt in it. Hudal lil muttaqin, is a guidance for those who fear and who believe in Allah. All the creation belongs to him, and he does whatever he wants to his creation without being unjust towards them. Glorified be our Lord, far above any injustice being attributed to him. The one who is unjust is the one who takes that which does not belong to him. That is unjust. But to Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is on earth. Right? So he's just, he's not unjust. Everything belongs to him. And all that is in between them, and all that is under the soil, and so forth. To him belongs this world and the hereafter. May he be exalted and may his names be blessed. He loves obedience from his slaves. He loves obedience from his slaves and commands them to obey him. And commands them to obey him, his commands, even though they could understand it or not. And as in the case of Ibrahim alayhi salam, of to sacrifice that which he loved the most, right? Just to obey Allah's command, and he was going to do it. And his son also, Ismail. And those who are helped by him, obey him. See? How Allah going to help you to obey him? It's because he had to see some effort, some striving, which is in his knowledge, which is in his capability, right? Which we do not know. But once he know, you understand, that you make a slight, whatever it is, he come big towards you. Right? You say you come to me one span like this, I will come to you at arm's length. You come at arm's length, he come, you walk to him, he runs to you. What is the meaning of all of these things? It's just a slight little effort we have to make, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come to us big time. Right? So if he commands them to obey him, and he loves obedience, right? How come he could be unjust, right? To write, to decree for us then, you understand, things which is not good then, or so forth. He decreed it because we're going to choose to do that, and he knows that. Not that he's commanding us to do that. He command us to do good things, and he like us to obey his command. You see? But if we choose to do the wrong things or other than that, then he facilitated for us to do it. So it will happen. It will happen. You see? But it's not that he choose that for us. We choose that for ourselves. You see? So he loves obedience from his slaves and commands them to obey him. And those who are helped by him, obey him. So you could be helped by Allah to obey him, but it all depends on the knowledge Allah has and the effort and the striving that you make. But we know for sure Allah is unjust. He's not unjust. He forbids disobedience. He forbids disobedience. But he has willed that it should happen. Here, this part, is Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. This is Aqidah to Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah in relation to Qadar. He forbids disobedience, but he has willed that it should happen. Why? Because you choose it, so it will happen. You choose it. Look, the man go in the 2 mosques in Venezuela. And he planned it for 2 years?
New Zealand.
In New Zealand, yeah. And he planned it for 2 years? It happened. Yeah? He chose that for himself, and Allah facilitated. Although the end result, people can't understand how much good that caused people accepting Islam like that. These people might, inshallah, will get shaheed, go be in Jannatul Firdaus. And that is the whole purpose of this whole life here, is to get Jannah. It's to fight to get Jannah. No, that is all I know. And how you go get Jannah? Just by obeying Allah's command. You understand? Putting Allah first. You understand? So the whole thing here is about obeying Allah's command, even we understand it or not. Ibrahim was stressed. He couldn't. Look how hard that was. But you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so unjust to let him take his own son? He tried him. Right? But he was going to obey the command. And look at now, okay. If he didn't obey the command now, well, you know how much thing he would have to pay for? But look at the other, just put your trust in Allah and obey his command, even though you understand it or not. But look at the end result, look at the position of Ibrahim, Yawmul Qiyamah, alayhi salam. You see? This man, he planned for 2 years. Right? 2 years, and Allah facilitated. Look, the Prime Minister of New Zealand was saying in an article, how come they didn't have how come they didn't have a watch out or something for people who for people who bought, guns and of this type and so forth and so forth. It didn't come to the brain to even check on this individual. Allah facilitated. Allah knew what he was going to do, right? He facilitated him. You understand? Not that he command him to do it. Not that Allah want him. That's a wrong thing. Allah want he to do that. But he willed it and so forth because he's going to do it. The individual going to do it. Allah want he could have stopped it, no? Nothing happens except by the will of Allah. Right? Nothing happened. Nothing could happen. Not even a leaf could fall from a tree. Except that Allah knows and by his permission it happened. And we might think now, well, okay, why Allah allow this to happen? Why allow it to happen? We do not even know, from a human brain, logically thinking, right? The benefit, right, or the bounty of this thing. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. What this could cause, how much good could come out of this bad thing. You see? But he knows with his prior knowledge, and he facilitated him. Well, 2 years he planned. Right? He make a way for him. Right? He decreed it, so it have to happen, and nobody is powerful enough